along with Ken Thompson this afternoon at the Northwest District B basketball tournament being played in the Burlington Edison Gymnasium. Game number 1 just about 4 minutes away. As we start off what promises to be some very even action in this Northwest B tournament. Action which will continue for 5 playing nights, wind up with a championship game a week from tonight here in the Burlington Edison Gym, and then a battle for the number 2 spot will occur a week from tomorrow night on March 1st, Saturday night here in the Burlington Edison Gymnasium. 2 berths in the state meet at Spokane are up for grabs at this Northwest District B basketball tournament. 4 teams from the North Division, 4 teams from the South Division. Our opening contest this afternoon, game number 1, pits the number 2 team from the North Division, Coupeville Wolves, up against Orcas, the number 3 team from the South Division. Orcas coached by Bob Curtis. Bob Parker, the coach of the Coupeville Wolves. Our officials for game number 1 are Ed Batson and Dick Rudland. And the teams have returned from the dressing room a couple of minutes away from the opening tip-off. A small crowd on hand here, but it will get larger, of course, as the day goes on. Schools that are playing later in the evening or in the second game will be arriving yet. There's yet the people supporting the teams in the second game are not on the scene, and they'll be coming in before too long in our second game this afternoon up against Friday Hubbard. So we'll be back with a look at the starting lineups for game number 1 of the Northwest District B basketball tournament in just a minute.
Somebody once said that good things come in small packages, and it's so often true, even when it's applied to towns like LaConner. To see a really unique town, nothing hurried or high pressure. And the best thing about LaConner is that it's really the original atmosphere. The buildings go back to the 1800s, so it's not an artificial town. Wander down. This invitation extended by Dunlap Tony, another pioneer.
You really think you have to go to the big city to get complete banking service? Not at all. If you live on Whidbey Island, just look around. You'll find the Whidbey Island Bank. Not far to go anywhere on the island. The home office in Coupeville with branches in Oak Harbor and Clinton. And locally owned and operated. Who can better understand your needs than your neighbors? At the Whidbey Island Bank in Coupeville, Oak Harbor, and Clinton.
Starting lineups about to be introduced to the crowd here at the Burlington Edison Gymnasium. Game number 1 of the Northwest District B basketball tournament between the Orcas Island Vikings and the Coupeville Wolves. And here with a look at the starting lineup is Ken Thompson.
Thank you, Dennis Wills. Good afternoon, sports fans. We don't have the gym completely packed, but we do have a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of noise by these enthusiastic people who've come over from Orcas and Coupeville. And this should be a real exciting ball game. Both of us. David Hall, David 6'6" by Bob Barker. We have Mike Ankney. Mike is 6'1" and a junior. At the other forward position is Randy Keefe. Randy is 5'10" and a junior. At center is Mark Bishop. Actually, Mark Bishop is a forward. Mike Ankney will line up at the center, but Mark Bishop is a little bit jumper than Ankney, so Mark will be jumping and then switch to the forward spot, and Ankney will play the center position. Mark Bishop, 6 foot, a junior. At the guard positions, we find Scott Franzen. Scott is 5'10", a senior, and Bill Jarrell, a 5'10" junior. So those are the starting lineups. We're expecting a real interesting ball game. Our officials today are Ed Vadset and Dick Rudland, and a couple of young people that's up here with us today who played for, one of them played for the Coupeville Wolves. I have Jim Cyrene sitting next to me. He's come over to watch his team, the Coupeville Wolves. He's followed them. He played for Bob Barker several years ago in the same tournament. And Jim, how do you view this ball game today?
Well, it's district tournament play, and of course, it's going to be tough, really. We shouldn't have any problem with Orcas. We've beat them twice this year, and in fact, we've never lost to Orcas Island. But the last game out, I understand, was a fairly close ball game. And like I said, district tournament, it'll be tough. Everybody will be giving their best. And let's see what happens.
Jim, when Coach Barker used to talk with you, you indicated you've never lost Orcas Island. Did he ever bring this up when you played them in tournament to remind you?
Yeah, he told us that all the time. Before every game, he'd tell us not, go out there and play our game, but if we were behind by halftime, he let us know about it.
Okay, Jim Cyrene used to play for Bob Barker at Coupeville, bringing out the fact that Orcas Island has never been beaten by the Coupeville Wolves. Has never lost. The Coupeville Wolves has never lost to the Orcas Island Vikings, and so with some tradition going in that regards, Coupeville winning all the games so far from Orcas. I'm sure that Orcas, on the other hand, their coach is telling them that it's about time we knocked off the Coupeville Wolves. Here we are with our Pledge of Allegiance. We'll have a lot of noise, but this opens the tournament play with these two teams, the Orcas Island Vikings and the Coupeville Wolves. Ed Vadstead is going to toss the ball up. Refereeing with him this afternoon will be Dick Rodland, and we're ready to get this first game underway, and here's Dennis Wills with the first half.
And Mike Carpenter at 6'2" in the center circle for the Vikings. For the Coupeville Wolves, Mark Bissett at 6 feet. Ed Batson, Dick Round, and the officials are ready to go. Ed Batson will put the ball in the air and will be underway with District B basketball action from Burlington. The tip is controlled by Orcas. Down for to David Hall. Drives to the right side, cut off on the side of the lane. Goes in underneath. Ball sails off one of the Coupeville Wolves' hands out of bounds. So Orcas Island will play the ball in underneath their own basket. David Hall steps out of bounds to play the ball in for the Vikings. Lobs way out front to Kenny Hamer. Hamer, top of the key. Goes around to Mark Carpenter. Turnaround shot. 15 footer, no good. Rebound to Hall. Can't get it up. Too far under. Moves in. Ducks under. Puts it up. And rolls around. Goes. A basket by David Hall. And the Vikings go on top with 20 seconds gone by here in the first period. 2-0 Vikings. Coupeville down floor for the first time. Scott Franzen brings it down. The right side to Randy Keefe. Back out to Franzen. Moving around outside. Orcas in his own defense. On the left side, it goes in the corner to Randy Keefe. Keefe back out front to Franzen. Franzen, the first time to Bissett. Bissett trying to maneuver, can't find room. A shot from the side by Keefe. Goes 15-footer. Randy Keefe gets it at 2-2 ball game. Nearly a minute gone by here at the District B basketball tournament in Burlington. Coming to you on KBRC, Dearborn, on the sports leader in Northwest Washington. Kenny Hamer drives on the right side. Scott Franzen with him defensively. Comes back out front. Hamer drives down, feeds off on the left side. In the corner, Bart Curtis with the ball. Comes back out front to Hamer. Hamer moves down to Mark Carpenter. Drives, banks it upside the lane, off the back of the rim. No good. The rebound pulled off by Mike Ankney of Coupeville. Down floor come the Wolves. Scott Franzen comes down the left side. Franzen looks in the lane. Lobs to the free throw line to Mike Ankney. Ankney has it knocked away. Stolen away by Kenny Hamer. And Hamer will have to hold it up and backcourt. The steal by Hamer for Orcas Island. 2-2 game on the baseline. The shot is up by Mark Carpenter. Good. 15-footer. Shooting percentages are good as Carpenter hits for Orcas Island. 4-2. The Vikings go out on top. Out the top of the key, Franzen for the Coupeville Wolves. By the way, you'll hear more Coupeville cheering than Orcas here this afternoon. That's because we happen to be situated at the Coupeville cheering section, where our hookup is. In the corner, Bill Jarrell with the ball. Bounce pass in underneath. Maneuvering is Ankney. Can't get it up there. Out to Franzen. Drives down the lane. Leaves it off for Ankney. His shot is checked away by Mark Carpenter. Will have a jump ball.
The 2-3 zone being employed by Orcas Island seems to be quite effective as Coupeville is having a rough time penetrating. They want to get the ball inside, but they're not doing it at the present.
Ankney and Carpenter will jump it in a Coupeville circle. Tipped by Carpenter, but it's controlled by the Wolves of Coupeville. Free throw line. Gerald can't get the shot away. From the side, a shot up no good by Randy Keefe. The rebound put up good. The rebound up and in by Mike Ankney for Coupeville. That's a 4-4 ball game. We played 2 minutes here at the District B in Burlington. The Vikings of Orcas Island come down floor. On the right side to Bart Curtis. Curtis out front to Howie Carlson, the captain. Moves it around. Off the key to David Hall. Hall back out front to Kenny Hamer. Hamer to Carlson. Moves down. Is cut off by Franzen on the defensive play. Lobs into baseline. The pass is overthrown just off the fingertips of Hall out of bounds.
So far, Coupeville's employing a man-to-man defense, doing a good job in forcing Orcas Island to try to take that shot from outside. They're jamming the middle real well. Orcas Island trying to get inside. We're seeing a good defensive game so far.
Long one from the side is good by Bill Jarrell for Coupeville. Hits it from the left side. And the Wolves go on top by 2. 6-4 Coupeville, 5:18 to play first period.
Bill Jarrell showed real nice touch and composure on that shot.
Carlson misses from outside. A rebound cleared by Ankney. Down floor comes Keefe ahead to Franzen. Drives under the basket. Tries to drive the baseline. Feeds it off. Is chipped away. Got it back off the hands of Curtis. The shot up from the free throw line goes. Shot by Randy Keefe. The 15-footer goes in. 8-4. The Wolves go on top by 4. 5 minutes on the clock. First period.
Coupeville trying to get their fast break going. Moving the ball down very fast. Getting that quick shot. They have some people that are fine shooters.
Hamer from 20 feet misses. The rebound cleared by Franzen out near the free throw line. Franzen drives down the middle. Is cut off. Ball is tipped away off the fingertips of Carpenter. Picked up by Carlson. Here we go the other way. It's a fast-moving ball game. Long one from the side by Carpenter goes. Mark Carpenter hits from outside. 8-6 Coupeville.
This is a real track meet right now. Both teams are getting their fast break there. What you call running and gunning and having fun.
Randy Keefe holds it on the red and white Wolves. Out front to Bissett. Bissett turns, fires a 15-footer off the back of the rim. The rebound all along to Kenny Hamer. Cut in front of the shooter to grab it up. And Orcas Island down by 2. Brings it down floor. Carpenter runs over a man. Offensive foul. Carpenter ran over the top of one of the Coupeville Wolves and right over the top of Bissett and draws the offensive foul. The player control ball turns it over to the Coupeville Wolves. They're on top by 2 with a little more than 4 minutes to play here in the first period. Game number 1 of the Northwest District B basketball tournament in Burlington. Jarrell looks at that long shot, decides not to, moves a little deeper into the corner, Out gets back out to Franson. Franson looking in the lane for Ankney, can't find him. Finds some help out front. The ball is taken away as he was positioning it on the floor. The ball was grabbed by Howie Carlson, who will bring it down floor for Orcas Island. Bounce pass on the right side to Carpenter. Back out front to Carlson. Bombs into Hall in the lane. Ball knocked away, but a loose ball picked up out front by Kenny Hamer. Hamer to Carlson. Long and from outside. It goes 25 feet away. Howie Carlson, 5'7" captain of the Vikings, hits it. 8-8 ball game. 3.5 minutes to play in the first period. Scott Franson down floor for the Coupeville Wolves. High post goes to Bissett. Hooks the pass, but it's knocked away by Kenny Hamer, who's been a ball hawk. Hamer drives Franson back, feeds underneath to Carlson, up and in. The assist from Hamer and a basket by Carlson. 10-8. Orcas Island takes the lead again.
Orcas Island, they're getting organized right now. That was a real nice fast break, and they hit the man flying into the basket. Looking real good. Right now they're running a 2-on-2 zone against Coupeville.
Gerald in the left corner. Bounce pass out front to Franson. Looks at Bissett, bounce pass to him. High post, drives on the right side, turnaround move, banks it up, checked away, out of bounds. Top it there defensively along with Hall, and the ball belonged to Coupeville. We're going to get our first reserve in the ball game for the Coupeville Wolves. They'll send Ron Matty into the ball game. Ron Matty comes in, and Mike Ankney goes to the bench. And also, Scott Franson has checked out of the ball game. So a 2:56 on the clock. In the first quarter, Orcas on top 10-8. The Coupeville Wolves will play the ball in underneath their own basket. Bill Gerald to play it in. Comes into Bissett. Out front to Franson. Franson off to Randy Keefe to Gerald around the left side. Long shot is up, way off the mark. A loose ball. Gerald puts it up. Foul from behind by Carpenter. Foul goes against Mark Carpenter. And this will be a two-shot foul as Bissett was trying to put up the rebound. He'll go to the free throw line to shoot a two. Ron Bissett at the line for the Coupeville Wolves. It's the first one. He can tie it up if he makes the second one. Got Bissett. Mark Bissett. The line. Second shot on the way. Got that one also. For Bissett, it's two from the free throw line. We have a 10-10 ball game. 2:45 remaining here in the first period. The District B tournament in Burlington. Howie Carlson down floor on the left side. Goes in the corner to Bart Curtis. Curtis back out front. On a high post to Hall. Hall gives off to Curtis. Drives to Carlson. Carlson, top of the key. Can't find anybody down the lane. Goes to Carpenter. Bounce the ball off his foot. Loose ball picked up. Put up by Hamer. No good from 15 feet. Rebound to Gerald jumping in front. And we'll get a rebound foul called on Kenny Hamer of the Orcas Island Vikings. Hamer draws the foul, and that's the third team foul on Orcas. Cooper will play the ball in backcourt. Foster Ferris to play it in for the Wolves. The Wolves have Ferris along with Bissett, Keefe, Natty in the ball game. Out front, Keefe. Other side to Gerald. Gerald bounce pass in the corner to Keefe. Out front, working it around now. Bissett at a high post, right side, tries to hook a pass across the lane. The ball is intercepted by Hamer. That's his third or fourth steal here in the first period. Hamer brings it down floor to Howie Carlson, the little guy at the top of the key. Cross court to Hamer. Hamer drives on Gerald, goes to the baseline, turns back out to Carlson, looks at that long set, decides not to. Moves down to the left corner. The long shot from the corner is up. It's no good by Hamer. And a rebound cut off by Randy Keefe for the Coupeville Wolves. Quickly down floor, Foster Ferris. And a shot up to the 15 feet away by Ferris is good. Stopping at the free throw line, pumping it in. Ferris gets the basket, and Coupeville goes back on a foot 12-10 as lead is exchanged hands several times in the first period.
Foster has some of the old shades of his brother Kevin Ferris, Dennis, who played a couple of years back for Coupeville.
And then they have to play here in the first period. Orcas Island down by two. Going to Carpenter to the right corner. The big guy on the lane. Comes back out front now to Hamer. Hamer's had a tremendous first quarter. Cross-court pass. Long one up by Curtis. Way off the mark. Hit the corner of the backboard. Loose ball. Picked up on it by Ron Natty for Coupeville. To Bissett. Bissett ahead to Randy Keefe. 1:15 on the clock here in the first period. From the top of the key, Ferris fires and hits. Well, Ferris coming into the ball game is 2 for 2 from the field. 14-10. Coupeville on top.
Foster Ferris, he's doing some fine shooting. He's only a sophomore, so this kid could have quite a future with his basketball at Coupeville.
Howie Carlson, turnaround move, checked away by Bissett. Carlson out front now. To Curtis around. Long one by Carlson. In and out. The rebound caught off there by Randy Keefe.
Right now, Coupeville's going to the defensive boards real hard. They're causing Orcas Island to take the outside shot. Then they're going into the board real well and getting the rebound.
Gerald misses. Rebound. Keefe. Turnaround. 10-footer goes, and he got fouled. And the basket is good. A foul on Hamer. Kenny Hamer picks up the foul. That is the 4th team foul on Orcas and the 2nd foul on Hamer. At the line with a chance at a 3-point play is Randy Keefe, the 5'10 junior up there. 16-10, Wolves on top. Now by 7 as Keefe gets the free throw. 17-10, Coupeville. 7 points for Randy Keefe here in the first period. 35 seconds remaining in the quarter. Goes to Carpenter. Turnaround, 22-footers off the mark. The rebound cleared by Randy Keefe. And again, he's on those defensive boards.
Coupeville right now, they're controlling the game simply by controlling both the offense and defensive boards. They're just giving Orcas Island one shot, and that's about the size of it.
Ferris from the corner hits. He's 3 for 3. Foster Ferris again from outside. 19-10. The Wolves on top with 16 seconds remaining in the first period. As Foster Ferris has come off the bench here in the first period, put in 3 for 3 from the field. Howie Carlson out front for Orcas Island. Circles down the right side into the corner. Bounce pass in underneath. Low post to Hall. Moves in the lane. Almost lost the ball. Did lose it and traveled. Hall couldn't quite find a handle. Trying to move to the lane. 3 seconds on the clock here in the first period as Coupeville will play it in. Clock starts as it gets to center court. Keefe turns and fires from center court. Almost got it. Rebound Bissett. He hesitated just a moment and the buzzer sounded. And that's the end of the first period of the District 3 basketball tournament in Burlington with the first period score. Coupeville 19, Orcas Island 10.
Coupeville is historic for a lot of things. The log house, the main street, and now for the House of Love. Well, we hasten to add the other name for the House of Love is Dean Chevrolet, the biggest car dealer on Central Whitby. Did we also tell you he's the only one? But anyway, Dean Chevrolet is now featuring the Love, the lightweight utility truck that can haul over a half-ton for you, but still give you over 25 miles to the gallon. And if Love isn't enough for you, there's still time to share in the rebate. $200 on Nova and Vega, $500 on the Monza. Dean Chevrolet for the biggest Chevy rebate.
If you've lived around here long, you probably know what a relaxing, beautiful drive it is down the Whidbey Island area and on by Coupeville and south. But you may not be familiar with the Thai Cafe and Motel just across the street from the high school in Coupeville. Well, friends, that just could be the highlight of your drive. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, the Thai makes a specialty of it. Pie alone makes it worth the trip. Relax over the daily luncheon special, always a surprise. The owners don't even know what's coming up. The Thai Cafe and Motel, Coupeville.
Ready to start the second quarter of play. This is Dennis Wills along with Ken Thompson for the District B basketball tournament in Burlington.
Oh, this is a lot of fun to watch this game, Dennis. These teams are real enthusiastic. They're moving up and down the court. We're seeing a very fast-moving ball game. The story of the first quarter, especially the latter part, was Coupeville simply controlling both ends of the floor, both the offensive and defensive boards. And so if Orcas Island's going to get in this ball game, they're going to have to go to the boards better, get some of theirs, and they got to get closer shots. Coupeville's causing them to take 20-footers, and then they're controlling their boards.
Carpenter and Bissett jump. Carpenter controls the tip. Over to Hamer. Hamer drives down, hook shot, baseline goes. Just kind of thrown up and in. And the Orcas Island Vikings get the basket into the ball game. Sherman Moran. Moran gets the basket down floor. Bissett puts it up, working the baseline. Mark Bissett gets it back for Coupeville. 21-12. The Wolves with a 9-point lead here in the opening minute of the second quarter. On the left side. Goes down to Hamer. Hamer, bounce pass out to Carpenter. He plays all over the floor. Out front, in underneath. Carlson, stop and go dribble. Dribbles down the right side. Leaves it off. Long one by Hamer. Good from 22 feet away. Kenny Hamer gets it. 21-14, Coupeville. Now for Foster Ferris, who's coming to hit 3 in a row from outside. He makes a bad pass in, intended for Natty. The ball batted around and finally picked up by Howie Carlson for Orcas Island. Off to Carpenter. Out to Carlson, top of the key. Carlson, left side, goes to Hamer. Hamer looking low for Hall. They've had trouble getting the ball in to him. Out front, Carlson works on Ferris, drives on the right side. Baseline, feet in the corner. Hamer set shot in the corner, overshot. The air ball pulled down by Randy Keefe. Again on those defensive boards.
Well, Randy Keefe's doing a real good job. He goes to the offside board extremely well and has been getting some real key rebounds for Coupeville.
Scott Bissett went up as Mark Bissett went up as if to shoot and fired a hook pass at the last moment. And Ron Natty, thinking the ball was going to the basket, got hit in the nose with it. And it sailed out of bounds. So the turnover gives the ball to Orcas Island. Carlson down 4. Out to Hamer. Hamer, high post Carpenter. Turnaround 10-footer, no good. A rebound cleared by Bissett for Coupeville. Almost intercepted underneath the basket, but finally lost out of bounds as Moran was over there to get a hand on it.
Yes, Moran didn't go down. He just stayed in there to play a tight full court press, so to speak. And Coupeville got a little careless, threw it in, and there he was. Caused the ball to go out, but it will be no, it's going to be Orcas Island will have the ball underneath their basket.
Orcas Island will play it in on the left side. Moran to play the ball in. Lobs out front to Howie Carlson, captain of the Vikings. Carlson, turnaround move on Ferris. Ferris stays with him out top of the key to Hamer. Orcas down by 7. Ball forced in, now back to Hamer. Alone for a 12-footer, banked it no good. Lost rebound by Carpenter, but the ball is picked up by Hamer. Off to Moran. Underneath, hook shot goes up, rolls across, no good by Carpenter. A loose ball pulled down by the Coupeville Wolves. Down floor. Natty moves down the lane and reach again and drawing the foul. It's Kenny Hamer. Kenny Hamer has picked up his third personal foul. He's been a very aggressive defensive player.
Offensively, one of the hang-ups looks like Orcas Island, Sam. They're wanting to run a high post with their fine center, David Hall, and he's going out high to get the ball, and while he's out, the guards are taking long shots. There he's being blocked away from the boards. They're going to have to let him try to operate more to lower post, and when he's out high, they're going to have to give him time to roll back toward the board to get some tip-ins, but he's being caught out high, and he's not being able to get back to help off on the offensive board.
Don Michelle has checked into the Orcas Island lineup now. Don Michelle in for the first time tonight. And at the line will be Ron Natty for Coupeville, shooting 1-1. Missed the shot. The rebound tipped by Bissett. Will not go. Natty the rebound. 8-footer is up. It's short. Skimmed the rim. The loose ball pulled off there by the Orcas Island Vikings. David Hall coming down with it. Leaves it off for Carlson. Down floor come the Vikings. Trailing by 7, 21-14. Driving along the baseline. Offensive foul goes against Moran. Moran turns the ball over. Coupeville leading by 7, 5:48 to play in the first half.
Moran gave that outside juke step and thought he had the baseline, but real fine defense there, and he was cut off.
Branson will bring it down floor. Pass ahead to Gerald on the left side. Backing in, working on Don Michelle. Out front. Around to Randy Keefe. Driving is Keefe, lays it up good. Keefe driving along the baseline with a nice move, turned on the speed and got in there to lay in the 2 points.
Randy Keefe impressed me for Coupeville. He does a lot of things. He drives well. He's a good offensive player. And what a job he's doing both on the defensive and offensive boards. Randy Keefe.
Hall to the baseline, gives to Moran in the corner, right back to Hall. 3 men on him, has to go back out to Carpenter. His 16-footer good. Mark Carpenter, the 6'2" senior, jumps it in. 23-16. Coupeville by 7, 5 minutes to play and a half.
Now, that was a nice piece of basketball by Orcas Island. They went in, penetrated, then kicked off outside where Carpenter had the easy 10-foot shot.
Gerald misses. The rebound goes to Carpenter. Way up in the air. Down to Carlson. Up to Carpenter. Back to Carlson. Looks at that set in the top of the key. Decides not to. Moves down the left side. Ball poked away by Ferris. Picked up by Carlson. Back on the left side of Moran. Moran looking low for Hall. Goes to him. Works against Natty. Now back out to Moran. 20-footer. Rolls around. Will not go. The rebound tipped around. And the save in, but it goes into Bissett. Down floor, Bissett leaves it ahead for Ferris, who gets the lay-in. Foster Ferris, 8 points in the reserve role.
This Ferris, he has good balance, extreme control of the body once he takes to the basket, but that was a real fine lead pass to set him up for the cripple off the fast break.
Moran on the right side goes side of the lane to Hall, back out front to Moran. Moran starts a move down there, and a 3-second violation is called against the Vikings. 3 seconds against the Vikings. Now Scott Franzen checks back into the lineup, and Gerald goes out, and Bissett will leave the Coupeville lineup also as Mike Ankney comes back in. 2 of the Coupeville starters back into the ballgame. 4:12 to play in the first half. 25-16. Coupeville by 9 as they bring the ball to the forecourt. Francis on the left side to Ferris. Fires from 22 feet. Rolls around, will not go, and that's his first miss. And on the rebound, a foul is called on Ankney up over the back of Carpenter. Mike Ankney picks up the foul. That is his first personal foul. And that is the first foul of the half on Coupeville. Coming with 4 minutes, 2 seconds remaining in the half.
That's amazing, as aggressive as the Coupeville Wolves are, to have their first foul, but they're doing a real fine job. Bob Barker's really got them going today, both running that ball down the court and especially crashing the boards.
Carlson moving down the left side, fires a 20-footer that's short. The rebound is taken by Ankney. Long pass ahead to Ferris, working on Moran, goes up with it, it's no good. The follow is good. Followed by Randy Keefe, the trailer on the play. 27-16 Coupeville, 3/4 remaining first half. Carpenter fires a 25-footer that's short. The rebound cleared by Hall, goes up, checked away from behind, loose ball, falls to Hall, banks it up good. Hall stayed in there battling and finally got it. David Hall.
Orcas Island's going to win the ball game. Hall has to operate more low. He's got to get down there close to that basket. He jumps well. They're going to have to get the ball to him, but he's been caught out high too much when the ball's been going up.
Ferris along the baseline, passes out to Randy Keefe, 15-footers off the mark. Keefe follows, gets his own rebound, goes underneath, banks it up, checked away by Hall from behind, and a loose ball foul on the rebound will go against Natty of Coupeville. Natty comes to foul, and Dale Scharnhorst comes into the ball game for the first time tonight for Orcas Island, and Mark Carpenter, who's been working hard out there, will get a rest. Dale Scharnhorst in there in the Orcas lineup. The Vikings will play it in backcourt. That's a second team foul on Coupeville. Out floor, Howie Carlson. 3 minutes to play here in the first half. Coupeville leading by 9. Orcas with the ball. Hall on the baseline. Cut off by Natty. Lobs out front. The pass is intercepted by Branson. Branson drives. Ball knocked away by Carlson down below with a blocking foul on Carlson. He got his hand on the ball cleanly and a knock it as Branson had it about waist high, but he got his body in underneath his call for the blocking foul. Howie Carlson's first foul, 6th team foul on the Vikings. And so Branson will go up to the free throw line for the Coupeville Wolves. Got Branson up there, hasn't scored in the ball game. 2 minutes, 51 seconds, a minute and a half. 1-1 for Branson on the way. Got the first one. 28-18, Coupeville out on top by 10 points. Game number 1 for the District B basketball tournament in Burlington. Scott Branson with one more for the free throw line. Bounces high in the air, will not go. The rebound lost by Hall. Batted around. Michelle can't control. Finally Scharnhorst does. Scharnhorst drives down the middle. Veers off the left side as the defense was there. Moran starts up with a shot. He's grabbed and fouled by Ferris. Ferris got him on the arm. Foul number 1 on Ferris. The 3rd team foul on Coupeville. Coming with 2 minutes and 42 seconds remaining in the first half. 28-18 to score. Coupeville on top as Moran goes to the free throw line. Shimon Moran up there shooting 2 for the Vikings. First one up, it is good. 28-19, the Vikings cut the margin to 9. One more for Moran. On the way, missed that one. A rebound. Hit off of there and lost by Natty, but he saves it in. Then there's a battle in the corner for it. It goes out of bounds, and it was touched last by Moran of Orcas. Bissett checks back into the Coupeville lineup, and out of there will come Natty. Coach Bob Barker just about back with his starting lineup here now, with the exception of Ferris, who's in there in place of Gerald. Down floor comes Branson. Tries to hit Ankney at the high post. The ball intercepted by Moran. Off to Carlson. 2.5 minutes to play in the first half. Carlson drives to the baseline. Feeds back to Scharnhorst. Moves to the side of the lane. 15-footer off the back of the rim. Rebound batted around. Controlled by Hall. Throws it up no good. Battles for the rebound. Got it back and then was finally fouled as he started toward the basket. Abe Hall battling in there on the boards. And that'll be the 4th team foul. But they really was in the act of shooting, so Dale Hall will go to the line. David Hall up at the line, a 6'1" sophomore. And now here comes Ron Natty back into the ball game for Coupeville. And Mike Ankney will leave the game for the Wolves. They had lined up to shoot, but it was not a shooting foul. It's only the 4th team foul. So now they'll break out of there, and Scharnhorst will play it in. Left side of the basket for the Vikings. They're down by 9 with 2:15 remaining in the first half. Scharnhorst goes right into Hall. He's behind him. Nice feed. Scharnhorst missed the basket, and the rebound is cleared off there by Randy Keefe.
Hall, when he's underneath, he's very effective. That was a beautiful assist, but Scharnhorst just missed a simple layup. He was a little too far into the cylinder. He didn't realize it until he put the ball up.
Out front, Ferris moves around, feeds to Natty, and a 3-second violation called against the Wolves, so they'll turn the ball over. With 2 minutes to play here in the first half. The Vikings will bring it down floor, down by 9. Carlson and Moran out front for the Vikings. Carlson with the ball. Scharnhorst on the right side. Looks at that long shot. Comes out to Michelle. Ball went through his hands at the top of the key. Almost poked away from behind. Michelle having trouble with the dribble. Finally, it is taken away. But a kicking the ball violation against Michelle after it was taken away will turn the ball over to Coupeville. They'll play it in backcourt with a minute 45 remaining and a half. Scott Branson dribbles over by his coach Bob Barker as he comes by to get a few instructions. Branson's pass sent to the high post, but Natty is batted away and intercepted. Carlson behind the back dribble, bring it across the center line. Fires down the left side, Moran. Moran scoops it into Hall. He's falling down. He throws it up. The ball tipped away. Michelle can't control the ball. Scharnhorst goes up, checked away by Ferris out of bounds. It'll be Orcas ball underneath their own basket. But first, the Coupeville Wolves want a timeout with a minute 22 remaining and a half. And the score, Coupeville 28, Orcas 19.
Ever watch The Odd Couple on TV and notice how busy Felix is fussing with the housekeeping? Well, we know this. Felix would...
A minute 22 seconds remaining here in the first half. Coupeville leading by 9, 28-19. Game 1, the District B basketball tournament in Burlington, coming to you on KBRC, the sports leader in Northwest Washington. When play resumes, Scharnhorst will play it in just to the right of the Orcas basket. The Vikings down by 9 to Carlson in the corner. Carlson back to Scharnhorst baseline. Into Hall. He's in the crowd. Every time he gets that ball, he's in the crowd. Piece of Scharnhorst. 8-footer Bose. Dale Scharnhorst hits it from outside. Dale Scharnhorst brings Orcas back within 7. A little more than a minute to play here in the first half. On the left side. Ferris back out to Franson. Cross it goes to Randy Keefe in the corner to Bissett. Moves under, puts it up, no good. He is fouled. No, it's offensive foul. Bissett backing into Hall. Bissett was too far to shoot, trying to back down the lane to get some room to maneuver. And he's called for the offensive foul. Foul number 1 on Bissett, the 5th team foul on the Coupeville Wolves. And the personal fouls are starting to even up now. 6 called against Orcas. Carlson on the left side. Moran moves inside the lane. A 15-footer is short. Barely skimmed the bottom of the rim. Outlet pass from Bissett is intercepted by Carlson. Feeds baseline to Carpenter. His 6-footer goes. And here come the Orcas Island Vikings. They're back within 5 with 38 seconds to play and a half.
The two big boys, Carpenter and Hall, when they go underneath that ball, they do have good ball lines. When they get the ball to them, they can put a lot of pressure on the basket. And that's what Orcas Island is doing right now with the score 23-28. They're coming up now.
And the Wolves throw it away, so here come the Vikings again. 30 seconds remaining in a half. They're down by 5. They've just scored the last 2 baskets. Carlson feeds out to Scheinhorst. Looks at the baseline. Nobody free at the side of the lane. And we have a 3-second violation called against Carpenter over the other side. So the Vikings give it right back with 19 seconds remaining in a half.
Ed Badsett and Nick Rowland doing a real good job controlling the game. They're hustling up and down the court right at the ball players, and they're doing a real good job calling out there.
Bissett feeds Ferris at the baseline. Turn around. 10-footer goes. Buster Ferris hits it. 30-23. Coupeville with 5 seconds remaining in a half. Carlson drives down the left side. They may not get a shot off. I don't think they knew how much time was left. And the buzzer sounds. That is the end of the first half here at game number 1 of the District League Basketball Tournament. And Burlington with a score at halftime. Coupeville 30, Orcas Island 23.
Oh, the sounds of the islands. Well, of course, we're talking about the San Juan Islands. Peaceful, calm. Except at Island Hardware and Supply in East Sound. Now, that's a regular madhouse. They're open at 7:30 every morning till 5:30 every night, 6 days a week. Marv, Harriet, Bruce, and Donna love it. Selling all of your building needs at better than mainland prices and all the name brand appliances, GE, Westinghouse, Gibson, and Zenith. Shop locally at Island Hardware and Supply, East Sound.
They say that life on the islands is pretty...
Against Guy Comish, and in the final game of the night, scheduled to get underway at 8:30, it'll be LaConner against Montlake Christian. Right now it's 30-23 in favor of Coupeville at halftime. We're back with our halftime look at the statistics and a halftime guest in just a minute.
Residents of the San Juan Islands are just a little different than mainlanders. Different problems, different needs. Who's best qualified to understand them? Well, islanders, of course. And for their banking needs, the San Juan County Bank is best suited to handle those needs. After all, they've been doing it since 1893, taking care of banking services. And with today's full-service banking, from checking accounts to home loans, safe deposit boxes to car financing. And in San Juan County Bank does it best. 3 branches, San Juan Island, Orcas, and Lopez.
Here's how you can accumulate money on the installment plan. With a face amount installment certificate, you can systematically accumulate sums of money over 15 or 22-year period.
Okay, and quite a fast-moving ball game. We've seen some pretty good talent out there. A lot of quickness. In fact, the Coupeville Wolves, we have a young man by the name of Randy Keefe and Ferris Foster, who came in there. He's only a sophomore. I wasn't as much impressed with the 10 points as the overall hustle and the way they get up and down the floor, especially Randy Keefe doing an outstanding job, especially crashing the boards. He has that ability to get the rebound, and then he gets the quick outlet, generating the Coupeville Wolves fast break so they can get down and put a lot of pressure on the basket off the fast break. So Randy Keefe really sticks out in my mind that first half is doing a real fine job out there for Coupeville. And then, of course, Foster Ferris, he's just literally shooting the eyes out of the basket as he puts that ball in the air with regularity, and he is hitting very consistently. For the Orcas Island Vikings, that first half, they were having troubles at first with Mark Carpenter and David Hall being caught outside as Coupeville was forcing them outside, and when David Hall in particular popped to a high post, it seems like then is when Howie Carlson and Kenny Hamer found it convenient to take a 20-footer, and of course with the big men away from the board, when they missed, Coupeville simply had the rebounds. But there near the latter part of the second quarter, Coach Bob Curtis obviously told them what they were doing wrong and corrected this, and they got back in the ball game to where they are now trailing by 7 points. Looking at the halftime statistics, we have for the Orcas Island Vikings, Mark Carpenter playing a fine ball game and particularly coming on strong the second quarter as far as going to the basket, rebounding, and putting more pressure on the basket. Mark finished the first half with 8 points. He had 1 foul. Dale Scharnhorst, who went in there, picked up 2 points. He didn't foul. Sherm Moran with 3 points, no fouls. David Hall having 4 points and 1 foul. Howie Carlson with 4 points, 1 foul. And Kenny Hamer, the only one in the ballgame actually, whom you would say is in foul trouble, as Kenny has picked up 3 fouls and he has scored 2 points. For the Coupeville Wolves, Mike Ankney with 2 points and 2 fouls. Ron Natty with 1 point. He didn't score. Randy Keefe having a real fine ball game, an exceptional first half, as he's doing about everything but selling tickets out there. Randy Keefe with 11 points, no fouls. Mark Bissett with 4 points and 1 foul. Scott Franzen 1 point. Bill Jarrell with 2 points, and Foster Ferris, he came in off the bench and quickly went to work, hitting 3 straight field goals, and then he shot the second quarter, hit 2 for 4, so he's shooting at a pretty good percentage, and as he scored 10 points, helping his team cause, and he has 1 foul. So actually no one is in foul trouble except Kenny Hamer with 3 fouls. A very fast-moving ball game, well-officiated ball game by Ed Vadset and Dick Rodland, and we'll be back with our halftime guest right after this.
Maybe you already know what great service we're Gateway Marina in Anacortes.
Mostly I'm impressed with Randy Keefe and Foster Ferris and Gerald getting the breakout and running down here.
Well, Jim, you know, that's very true. And looking at these, you've probably seen the Coupeville Wolves play all year. Now today, Jim, we find that this Randy Keefe is having an exceptional game. Foster Ferris has come in, and he's shooting real well. Now, in watching the team over the course of the year, who are some of the players for Bob Barker who have actually played real good ball throughout the year?
Well, obviously Keefe and Gerald with their scoring averages are the key to our offense, you might say. And I really think they're a couple of best guards in the league, and they're only juniors is the thing. And Mark Bissett, of course, has had some ankle problem, but he's a real good ball player, and he's really came on since his sophomore year last year. Mike Antony didn't play basketball last year, but came on and was a good football player and came on, and we got some real good rebounding and got some good shooting. In fact, the last 3 or 4 games probably averaging about 23 points a game, and I'm sure Mr. Barker's real happy with that.
Well, Jim, you know, and looking at the lineup for Bob Barker, we have a lot of young people on his team. Like we've singled out Randy Keefe, he's only a junior. In fact, Mike Antony is only a junior, and Ferris is a sophomore, so he obviously could have a better ball club next year than he has this year.
Oh, that's right. And if Gerald comes along like he did this year, I'm sure we're going to have a real good ball club. And if we could have a little more height, I think we'd have a fantastic ball club. And, of course, you know who's playing for Mount Vernon right now, Rick Gunther, and, of course, he's from Coupeville.
Well, that's right. Rick Gunther having a good year for Dave Call, and, of course, if he would have been in Coupeville, this would have made all the difference in the world, but they're doing quite a job for the size they have. For the Orcas Island Vikings, Jim, looking at this team, they do have a couple of people in there that can make quite a difference in this ball game if they get them going, and that being Mark Carpenter and David Hall. David Hall, of course, is 6'1", and Mark Carpenter is 6'2", and when they both go to the board, if they can get under there, when the shots go up, they can put a lot of pressure on that cylinder, and that's what they did the second part of that first half.
That's true, and that's how we've lost the ball games we've lost this year, is from the big men getting underneath and just dominating the boards. And the guys we have underneath are small, they're good jumpers, but a lot of times they get in foul trouble.
Well, Jim, you played for Coach Barker quite a bit with a spread of 7 points during the second half. What do you think he's told these Coupeville Wolves for the second half?
I know exactly what he said. He said he'd come out and play your ball game and run the fast break, and I'm sure that's what we're going to see here in the third quarter.
Okay, Jim Cyrene has been our halftime guest. Thanks so much, Jim, for coming over and talking with us and analyzing this ball game and talking about the Coupeville Wolves and the Orcas Island Vikings. The second half is about ready to get underway. Ed Vadset is out ready to toss the ball up, and Dennis is here to tell you all about it.
30-23, Coupeville leading by 7 as we start the second half of play. Ed Vadset wants to check something else over at the sideline before they get started. In the center circle will be Mike Ankney for the Coupeville Wolves. Ankney at 6'1". He'll jump against Mark Carpenter of Orcas. Carpenter at 6'2". All right, they have determined they wanted to check and make sure who the captains were. That was it. And now we'll start the second half of play with Coupeville leading by 7 here at the District B basketball tournament in Burlington. Tip is controlled by Carpenter. A race forward in backcourt. Ferris tries to save it in, tries to bounce it off the knees of Moran out of bounds, and is successful. So Coupeville will play it in a backcourt.
That's Ferris Foster. He shows me he's got a good head on his shoulder because he had to think real quick there to save a turnover and to maintain the ball for the Coupeville Wolves. Good thinking.
That's it to Jarrell. Long one from the corner is short. The rebound falls to Scharnhorst. Scharnhorst came in and played an aggressive ball game late in the second quarter for Orcas, and he is back in there in the lineup as we start the second half. Top of the down floor on the right side. Comes out front. Carlson, the little guy moves around, jumps to 15-footers, off the back of the rim, chip up, goes by Carpenter. Mark Carpenter gets the basket. That's 10 points for Carpenter, 30-25. Coupeville by 5. Ferris with the ball. Goes to the top of the key. Ankney on the right side to Gerald. Gerald looks inside. Ankney drives down, pumps up an 8-footer. He's falling. He got fouled going by. Using the knee. And a foul goes against Mark Carpenter. Carpenter draws a foul number 2 on Carpenter. And so the Wolves will play it in under their basket. Gerald to play it in. Goes in the corner to Bissett. He takes it. Well, it looked like he's going to shoot. Jumped it out to Ferris. His long one goes. Foster. Ferris hits again. That time from 24 feet away. 32-25 as Ferris in a reserve role has picked up 12 points off in the field. On the side, Sean Oyst. Bob's underneath for Bissett. Ball batted away by Bissett. Picked up by Carpenter. 8-footer goes. Mark Carpenter found the loose ball and put it in. His second basket here in this period.
We brought this out to Mark Carpenter, David Hall. They've got to be under that basket. When they're under there, they can cause a lot of damage. And they're going to the boards more frequently since about the latter part of that second quarter.
Bissett misses outside. The rebound goes to Mark Carpenter. Orcas down by 5. Comes down floor. Carlson going around and a blocking foul is called. Blocking foul. So the ball will be played in backcourt. Mark Carpenter with the illegal pick out front. Picks up his 3rd personal foul. And in backcourt, it'll be Ferris to play it in. Foul number 4 on Mark Carpenter, and that's a big one. In the corner, Randy Keefe. Long one, no good. Rebound, Ankney. Ankney at the center. Bounces off his foot. And the loose ball falls to Sean Oyst. Head to Carlson. Long pass down for Moran. Leaping catch in the corner. Moran on the baseline is cut off by Gerald. Offensive foul on Moran. He turned around. Gerald had established position, and it was a charging foul on Moran. Pass to Ferris. Well, Gerald will bring it down floor for Coupeville. Ferris with the ball. Moves on the left side to Keefe. Back out to Ferris. They're going to have to get on him outside because he's been tough. Ferris lobs cross court. Randy Keefe. Keefe will jump a 20-footer. Good. Randy Keefe hits for Coupeville. They open up a 7-point margin, 34-27.
Orcas Island doing a real good job forcing Coupeville to take the long shot, but of course they have a couple of people that can shoot that ball long, but they're doing a much better job defensing and especially going to the boards, Orcas Island.
Michelle checking back into the Orcas lineup, and Mark Carpenter has picked up his 4th personal, comes to the bench.
That will be significant because Mark Carpenter's been doing a real yeoman's job in there. In fact, he has 14 points, I believe, not 12 points as he goes to the bench and been doing a lot of rebounding for Orcas.
From outside, Moran fires. It's no good. A rebound foul will go against Michelle of Orcas. And we got 5.5 minutes to play here in the 3rd period. 34-27. 34-27. Coupeville with the ball and the lead. Foster Ferris will bring it down floor. Ferris with the ball out front. Checked by Carlson near the center circle. Goes to Keefe. He's 30 feet for the basket. To Ankney. Turn around. 16-footer is short. Rebound. Cleared off there by Hall. And then tied up. But we'll have a jump ball. Ankney reached in there and got a hand on the ball. Mike Ankney and Hall will jump it. In the Orcas circle. And Grondin will put that ball in the air. Tip is by Ankney, controlled by Bissett on the left side. On the baseline, runs into a man, goes to his knees, and gets rid of the ball. No foul. Long one by Gerald is no good at the baseline. Scharnhorst on the rebound. Gathers it in at the baseline. Leaves it off for Howie Carlson to bring it down floor for Orcas. Carlson drives on Ferris down the left side. Back out front to Moran. Moran at the free throw line. Turn around move into the lane. Back out to Carlson. 20-foot set. Top of the key. Rolls across no good. A rebound batted off the bottom of the backboard. And we get a rebound foul called. It'll go against Orcas. I think Michelle. It'll go against Don Michelle. So Ferris will play it in for Coupeville.
Don Michelle came in for Mark Carpenter, who went out with 4 fouls, and already Don Michelle has 2 on. The thing that Coupeville does so well, they react, they get to the board, and they're just a slightly quicker than Orcas Island right now, and that's why Orcas Island is drawing some fouls, because Coupeville just a little quicker.
Well, that was a 15 fouls. So Bissett shoots it, it hits. At 35-27, Coupeville. 4:54 on the clock in the 3rd period. One more for Bissett on the way. Misspent one, the rebound taken by Moran for Orcas Island. Moran brings it down floor, being bothered from behind by Ferris. Comes to the forecourt, whips it down the baseline to Hall. Moves cut off. And the ball bounces out of bounds off the hands of one of the Wolves. So Orcas will play it in under their own basket, left side of the lane. They line up over there except for Moran, isolated on the other side. Moran turn around, 8-footer on the inbounds play, no good. Rebound knocked around, finally controlled by Anke. Out that goes to Ferris. It's 4-on-2. Ferris down the right side, stop, bumps a 10-footer, swish. Buster Ferris continues to hit. 14 points in the reserve roll for Coupeville. 37-27. The Wolves by 10 with 4.5 to play in the third period. Right side to Sean Horst. Sean Horst looking inside from Moran. Can't find him. Goes to Hall. He's in a crowd. Turn around. 6-footer off the back of the rim. Rebound Moran. Moran battling in there. Scoops it over to Sean Horst. He forces it up. It's too hard. The rebound knocked around. It's over by Michelle. He's going to bring it out of there. Now he'll jump it up for the free throw line. No good. Finally, Coupeville gets a hand on the ball. Bissett with a long pass over through Ferris. Got a hand on it at the end line, but that's all. Ball out of bounds.
You're right, Dennis. That was a long pass, about 20 feet too long, and that was a costly turnover. But Coupeville putting it together in their fast break. When they get their fast break going, especially if Foster Ferris is on the end of it, he's a real fine shooter. And so Orcas Island, they want to get back in this ball game. Again, Mark Carpenter, one of their fine big men, is on the bench, and Michelle has come in his place. But they do miss Mark Carpenter at this point.
Natty checks into the Coupeville lineup. Mike Anke goes to the bench. Orcas brings it down floor, trailing by 10 midway through the third period. Howie Carlson with the ball at the top of the key. Lobs to the right side to Sean Horst. Sean Horst, 20 feet away from the basket, looks inside, forces it across the lane. Michelle fakes, goes around Bissett, jumps at a 8-footer, good. Jump shot that he shoots from way down low on the chest, and Michelle got the basket. His first of the night, 37-29. Coupeville with the lead and the ball. Foster Ferris with the ball out front, works on Carlson. In the left corner, all alone, Gerald, long shot, good. Gerald hits from outside for Coupeville. Bill Gerald, their average 15.5 points a game during the season. Their leading scorer. Shot missed from outside by Orcas. Rebound cleared by Randy Keefe. Long pass down for Ferris. Leaping catch in the corner right side. A 25-footer that's short, and the rebound cleared by Gerald. Ferris puts it up, no good from 15 feet. And finally, Carlson comes down with a loose ball. And the shooting is cooled off a bit here in the third period. Down for Carlson drives to the baseline, jumps a 15-footer. May have been partially checked. Loose ball comes to Hall. His 10-footers off the back of the rim. Rebound, knocked around. Finally, Sean Horst on the floor. Picks it up, moves it out of there. Sean Horst comes out front now. Jumper from the free throw line by Moran, and good. Moran hits from the free throw line, and Coupeville is going to work, rather Orcas Island is going to work on the offensive boards here in the third period. They're getting shot after shot when they come down the floor. 39-31, Coupeville. Ferris with the ball for the Wolves. Throws it away. Intended for Bissett. He did not break that way, and the ball sailed out of bounds.
Orcas Island has been shifting into a jug zone. They've been putting their point man out on the man, playing the ball to try to put a little more pressure. That does put them vulnerable in the middle of the key, however, but it's been paying off as they've been forcing turnovers by Coupeville.
Carlson on a turnaround move. Out to Michelle. Gets Bissett in the air and then fires a 15-footer that bounces around. Will not go. A rebound cleared off of there by Randy Keefe. Keefe being bothered in backcourt. Center court comes to Gerald. Gerald moves down to the free throw line, baseline. The ball got away. Michelle intercepted, and then he couldn't hold on to it. The ball belonged to Coupeville.
Randy Keefe, he's been getting a lot of rebounds. He's only 5'10", but he sure goes to the boards, and he goes up in the air with a lot of authority. Again, that defense of Orcas Island, it's been causing problems for Coupeville.
Harris plays into Bissett in the right corner. Moves to the side of the lane, whips it back out front to Gerald. 2:08 to play in the third period. 39-31, Coupeville leads. Randy Keefe from outside hits. Randy Keefe makes it a 10-point lead for Coupeville.
Randy Keefe, again, he's doing it all. He's rebounding for them, hitting outside, hitting inside. Just a solid ball player, Randy Keefe, and he's only 5'10".
Moran on the left side. Minute 45 remaining in the third period. Carlson with a 20-footer that goes. Howie Carlson gets the basket. Carlson with 6 points in the ball game, off from the field. 41-33 Coupeville. A minute 35 to play in the third period. Ferris tries to hit Natty. The ball is tipped away. It goes out of bounds. Everybody watches it. Let's see. Advanced says it belongs to Coupeville. Scott Franzen checks back into the Coupeville lineup now, and Foster Ferris comes out of there. Ferris with 14 points as a reserve. A minute and a half remaining in the third period. Gerald will play it into the right corner for Coupeville. They have an 8-point lead. Comes out front to Franzen. Throws it way down in the backcourt. Pursued and gathered in by Franzen. Franzen brings it back down across the center line. Off to Randy Keefe. Keefe back out to Franzen. Franzen on the left side to Randy Keefe. Neither of these teams has been afraid to fire from outside. And there goes an 18-footer. Good by Randy Keefe. He's hit 2 in a row from outside. 43-33 Coupeville. A minute 12 to play in the third period. Howie Carlson down for the Vikings of Orcas Island, who want timeout with the score Coupeville 43, Orcas Island 33.
Somebody once said that good things come in small packages, and it's so often true, even when it's applied to towns, like LaConner. There are a lot of people right here in Skagit County who have never really taken the time to wander around LaConner, to see a really unique town. Nothing hurried or high pressure. And the best thing about LaConner is that it's really the original atmosphere. The buildings go back to the 1800s, so it's not an artificial town. Wander down. This invitation extended by Dunlap Towing, another pioneer.
Let's do a little assumption. We'll assume you live on Whidbey Island, and let's assume you need some kind of banking service. Regardless of what it is, the Whidbey Island Bank is pretty sure they can serve that need because they are a full-service bank. Complete banking services, along with being located on the island in 3 convenient areas: Coupeville, Oak Harbor, and Clinton. And best of all, they're locally owned and operated. That's the Whidbey Island Bank.
1 minute, 8 seconds remaining here in the third period. Game number 1, the District 2 basketball tournament on Burlington. Coupeville leading by 10, 43-33. The lead exchanged hands a few times throughout the first period, but from then on, it's been Coupeville maintaining the lead. Vikings playing in a Moran out to Michelle. The ball is chipped away and touched last by Michelle. Bissett got a hand on it, then it ticked Michelle before it went out of bounds. So the turnover gives the ball to Coupeville in the backcourt. Franson and Gerald will bring it down floor. Got Franson with the ball. Goes right side to Gerald. Way out there. Goes in underneath the Natty. Turn around fake. Nobody takes the fake, and he goes up and then get it anyhow. Natty with an 8-footer at the baseline. 45-33. Coupeville with the largest lead of the ball game. 12 points. 45 seconds remaining in the third period. Carlson down the right side. Back out to Schonhorst. Schonhorst looks in underneath for Hall. Can't find him. Off to Carlson. Moves to the free throw line. Offensive foul in underneath. Call against the Vikings. Moran picks up the foul, trying to maneuver inside. Moran draws his second foul. And that turns the ball over to Coupeville.
Looks like Coupeville's been doing a number of things on defense. They've been playing man-to-man. They've been also playing zone. Sometimes it even looks like they're playing a box defense out there. But right at that point, they switched from a zone to a man-to-man before Moran drew the foul.
Ball batted away by Hall. Picked up by Carlson. Down for Moran, the baseline. Jumps an 8-footer. Good. Sherman Moran hits from the baseline. 45-35. Coupeville by 10 with 12 seconds remaining in the third period. Franson brings it into forecourt. Off to Gerald, to Franson. I'm not sure they're aware of how much time is left in the period. 5 seconds. Gerald starts to move underneath the Natty. Waits, fires it up. Little 6-footer is missed. Rebound Michelle at the buzzer. They add into the third period with a score. Coupeville 45, Orcas Island 35.
Oh, you're getting a little panicky right now. Everybody's getting their rebate but you. Friend, there's time. And if you're thinking Chevy and you live on Whidbey Island, there's only one place to go, to the biggest Chevy dealer, the biggest any kind of dealer on Central Whidbey, Dean Chevrolet on Auto Row and Prairie Center, the bedroom of Coupeville. $200 rebates on Nova and Vega, $500 on Monza. Deal ends the 28th. And ask about the Love Machine at Dean Chevrolet, where they give the biggest Chevy rebate.
You know, there's one thing about running a small, low-pressure business. You can do exactly what you want to. Like at the Thai Cafe and Motel in Coupeville, the cook comes up with a daily luncheon special, and everyone is a luscious surprise. He won't even tell the owners what it's going to be. On the other hand, Bill and Jane are sure of one thing every day. The homemade pie is always the best on the island. So between 8 a.m. and 7 p.m., make yourself at home at the Thai Cafe and Motel, Coupeville.
We have 1 quarter of action remaining here at the District B tournament in Burlington. Dennis Wells, Ken Thompson bring you the action on KBRC, a sports leader in Northwest Washington. KBRC near Mount Vernon. 45-35. Coupeville leads by 10 as we start the final period. And Carpenter checked back into the Orcas lineup. Center court, he and Bissett jump. The tip controlled by Orcas. Carpenter has been on the bench for most of the third period after picking up 4 personals. Schonhorst left corner underneath the Carpenter. Too far out of the shoot. Turns around, brings it out. Puts a 15-footer up in the turnaround move. That's no good. A rebound to Scott Franson. The Wolves running down the right side. Franson all the way to the corner. To Bissett as he goes by. Bissett crashes in. Offensive foul on Bissett. Bissett knocked Howie Carlson to the floor, and Mark Bissett draws the foul for Coupeville. And for Bissett, that was foul number 2. Foul number 2 on Bissett. And Orcas will play it in the backcourt.
This is, by having Mark Carpenter back in the ball game, this does make a difference because Orcas Island was making a run out real close when he fouled out.
Gerald with a tremendous steal at center court, and Franson trying to shoot down floor really gets hammered from behind by Schonhorst. Gerald made a diving try at the ball, just barely got a hand on it, kept scrapping, was flat on the floor when he finally intercepted and just gave it a shove. to Franson going by. Franson fouled to go to the line to shoot 2.
I was going to say Mark Carpenter didn't foul out, but he went to the bench quite a while ago, with 4 fouls. At that point, there's a 4-point difference with Orcas Island coming on strong. Well, the coach has him back in there now with 4 fouls because he makes a difference when he's not in there. So with Coupeville with the big lead now, Mark Carpenter's going to have to work real hard with David Hall underneath to get Orcas Island back in the ballgame.
Well, we had some discussion out there. They called the 2 captains over, Ed Bassett, and maybe tempers may have flared. And now Keefe gets a technical. Everything had quieted down, and Keefe standing out there got a technical. Whistled by the official, Dick Rodland, and said something out there, Randy Keefe, and here comes over to talk to his coach, Bob Barker. Tempers had apparently flared a little earlier, and that's why they had the captains together talking to them. But Scott Franson, who was at the line to shoot 2, is now up there. Will also be shooting a technical. Coupeville has a 10-point lead with 7.5 minutes remaining. 2 shots being shot here by Franson. He hits the first, so they could make quite a play out of this. The free throw shooting is on. Franson with his second on the way. Rolls around. Finally drops through. So Scott Franson got 2. And now they'll come down the other way. And after the technical foul on Keefe, let's see Howie Carlson's going to shoot it for the Orcas Island Vikings. Howie Carlson, the captain of the Vikings, is up there to shoot the technical now. They're working a little free throw shooting exhibition here in the middle of the ball game. Shot is no good by Carlson. Now, do we have a... Carlson's still up at the free throw line. He'll have one more. I don't know. Maybe they had 2 technicals whistled. He missed them both. Howie Carlson missed them both, shooting the technicals. Oh, we've got a little bit of everything here.
Think about off a technical, Howie Carlson, he had a chance there for he could have made 2 points off a double technical and the ball out of bounds. A chance for a 4-point play there, which they needed badly to get themselves back in the ball game with 7 minutes and 30 seconds left. And so tempers are simmered down now. They're back out there, and I think they're ready to play.
Well, they're going to do a little explaining along the sideline to Coach Bob Barker, the Coupeville Wolves, exactly what the technicals were for. And got that explained now. We'll have a jump ball at center court between Mark Bissett and Mark Carpenter. 47-35. Coupeville leads by 12 with 7.5 minutes remaining in game number 1 here at the District B Tournament in Burlington. Official Ed Bassett checking with the captains, Carlson and Franson, to see if we're ready to go. Carpenter and Bissett in the center circle after the double foul. Tipped off there by Bissett, but controlled by Sean Horst. For Orcas, lobs out front to Moran. Moran goes to the baseline to Hall. Hall has been really quiet here in the second half. Moran goes up, poked away by Gerald. Down for Franson, drives down the right side, looks in the lane, feeds behind to Gerald. Gerald has to circle and come out of there. Gerald forces up an 18-footer that's short. The rebound, pulled off of there, then tied up. Hall came down with the rebound, but Gerald came in low to tie him up. So we'll have a jump ball in the Coupeville circle. Gerald against Hall, and Hall with the height advantage for Orcas Island. Ball in the air, tipped by Hall, bats it over to Moran. Moran drives down the left side, cut off by Franson, baseline to Sean Horst. Sean Horst looks underneath, nobody there. Still with the ball looking underneath. And a 3-second violation call against the Vikings. Turns the ball over to Coupeville with 7 minutes remaining in the game.
Right now, Orcas Island making a lot of mistakes. They need to come down and they need to score with regularity, then put up a defense to get back in the ballgame, because with a 45 to 47, a 12-point differential, they've got to do something and do it fast.
Down the shot miss, and down floor comes Orcas Island. Howie Carlson, turnaround move, goes down the left side. Back out to Carpenter at the free throw line. His shot is short. The rebound lost by Franson, picked up by Carlson, forces up a 15-footer. There goes Howie Carlson under pressure, jumps it in. 47-37. Coupeville with a 10-point lead. 6.5 minutes remaining in the ball game. High post to Bissett, over to Gerald with a 20-footer. His jumper is off the mark. The rebound cleared by Moran. Moran off to Carlson. Vikings making a little move now. Carlson down floor. Carpenter on the left side. Baseline Sean Horst. Sean Horst moves it back out. Looks underneath the Hall in the lane. One-on-one. Shoots it over Natty. It rolls around and goes. And it will count. And he is fouled by Franson. So Hall has a chance at a 3-point play here. Abe Hall gets the basket. Hall, a 6'1" sophomore, scored 10.5 points per game this year. The leading scorer on the Viking squad. He'll be up the line with a chance at a 3-point play here now. Hall with 6 points in the ball game thus far. 6 minutes, 10 seconds remaining. 47-39. Coupeville by 8. And Bob Barker is going to get Foster Ferris back into the game and take Bill Terrell out of there. Ferris came in to ignite Coupeville in the second period and really get hot from outside. Made his first 3 shots in the game. At the line, it's Hall with 1 shot only. Chance at completing a 3-point play here for Orcas. Hall's free throw is up. It is good. 47-40. So Orcas is coming back. Down by only 7 now. Lots of time remaining in the ball game.
There's plenty of time right now. If Orcas can put it together with Carpenter in there along with Hall, they can do a lot of damage in 7 minutes.
Ferris feeds underneath the natty. Can't shoot. Now Ferris fires from the corner. No good. Rebound cleared off by Randy Keefe. Keefe moves in a crowd, forces it up. It will not go. And a rebound cleared by Hall for Orcas side. A lot of contact in underneath. Carpenter, center court, long pass ahead of Moran on the left side. Moves to the side of the lane, but traveled as he started to move. Moran made the shot. It will not count. He traveled.
That was a shame. They needed that bucket right there with 5.5 minutes left, because that would have cut the gap to 5 points. And again, their momentum was stopped by a costly turnover.
Coupeville leading 47-40. Branson hands it off to Randy Keefe. High post to Bissett. Turns around, drives around Hall. Checked away. Loose ball batted around. Finally controlled by Keefe. Puts up an 8-footer that's no good. A rebound comes off to Bissett. Lost it. Picked up in the lane by Scharnhorst. Oh, that is really rough in underneath there. A battle on the boards. A lot of contact. Carlson, left side, goes in the corner to Scharnhorst. Lost the ball on the floor. Scrambling for it is Moran. As he gets up, he's called for traveling.
Again, Orcas Islanders were vindicated. They closed the gap to 7 points. They're doing a great job defensively and hitting the defensive boards, but they're coming down on offense and just making turnover after turnover.
Branson into forecourt. 5:14 remaining in the ball game, and a whistle in underneath, and another 3-second violation call. We've had our share of those in today's ball game. 5 minutes 12 seconds remaining in the contest. Orcas down by 7. They have come back. They were down by 12 not long ago. High post to Carpenter. He's playing the 4 fouls. Starts to drive. Lost the ball off his foot. Picks it up. Goes out to Scharnhorst. Moves into the lane. Jumps up an 8-footer. Good. Well, Scharnhorst gets a basket. 47-42. Orcas draws within 5. Scott Branson out front for the Wolves. Branson throws the ball. It's just banged away, but I believe somebody, Scharnhorst, may get called for reaching over. Dale Scharnhorst draws a foul. Coming up over the back. Foul number 2 on Scharnhorst. And so that's going to send Ron Natty up to the line. As the Wolves will be in the bonus situation from now on. Coupeville has committed only 2 personals themselves. Ron Natty, 5'11" senior, averaged 4.5 points a ball game throughout most of the year. Up there shooting 1 and 1. On the way, got it. 48-42. Coupeville by 6. 4 minutes 48 seconds remaining in the ball game. Ron Natty will have 1 more at the free throw line for the red and white Wolves of Coupeville. On the way, no good off the back of the rim. Rebound to Carlson, jumping into the lane. A little guy, the captain of the Vikings, brings it down floor. Carlson moving in a hurry. Tries to get checked away, intercepted by Ferris. Ferris out in front, has a step, goes up with it, checked away from behind by Scharnhorst. And a traveling violation is called. Traveling on Ferris.
That's it, was right there. Ferris broke for the basket, and what he did, I thought he would go up. This is a point, the young people are listening to, for a left-handed shot. He tried an extra shuffle step because he couldn't use the left hand apparently. He wanted a right-hand shot, and they called him for traveling. Good call by Ed Vadset.
Scharnhorst feeds underneath. Carpenter has to save it in, can't do it. It's over the end line, so Coupeville will take over as the Vikings turn it right back. 4.5 minutes remaining in the game. Coupeville with a 6-point lead, 48-42. Scott Branson brings it down floor. Bounce pass left side, goes to Keefe. Keefe to Natty, across the lane to Ferris. Underneath it goes to Bissett. Bissett starts up, the ball knocked away, sails out of bounds. Touch last by the Vikings. Coupeville really passing that ball around in there. Ferris will play it in. Looks in the corner. Now lobs out front. Branson, top of the key, moves to the free throw line. Off to Randy Keefe with an 18-footer. It's short. Rebound loose at the baseline. Moran tries to save it in and does to Carpenter, who is fouled by Natty. Wait a minute. They call offensive foul. Offensive foul on Carpenter, who was fouled out of the ball game. Mark Carpenter was called for the offensive foul. He turned and ran off the floor. But Carpenter has fouled out of the ball game. Tom Michelle checks back in.
Well, really hurt. His presence is well known out there on the floor. But it's really felt because when he's in there, it's a good ball game. And before, when he was in, they closed the gap to 4. They were coming on strong again because he really gets a lot of muscle underneath rebounding. So he'll really be hurt for not being out there in the ball game. I'm sure Michelle probably went in there to replace him.
Mark Carpenter averaged about 10 points a game during the regular season. He has fouled out, had a pretty good game today. Bissett fires a 10-footer under pressure. Loose ball batted around, picked up by Carlson. Carlson races down floor. High dribble, lost the ball, and turns it back to Coupeville. Carlson couldn't control the high bounce.
They've just had about a dozen turnovers in the last 4 or 5 minutes, Orcas Islanders. They're trying to make that drive and bid for the ball game, but they've just had too many turnovers, and especially without even getting a shot off.
Natty comes out of the ball game. Mike Ankney checks back in for Coupeville. Carpenter scored 12 before fouling out. Ferris trying to play it in backcourt, stepped over the line, inbounds, and so, boy, we've had our share of turnovers here in the second half, and the Vikings will get it right back. 3 minutes, 58 seconds remaining in the game. Vikings trail by 6.
Orcas Island's turnovers are probably more obvious since they're trailing and running to make a bit out of it, but Coupeville's having their problems too with turnovers.
All right. Orcas will play the ball in. Ken Hamer, who spent a long time on the bench after starting the ball game, is back in there. Hamer tries to force it in. The Hall batted away. The ball is loose, kicked out of bounds, and we're going to jump it. Officials cannot determine who touched it last, and so they'll jump it in the Orcas circle.
Coupeville right now is employing a very tight man-to-man defense, sticking right with their men, and with 3 minutes and 49 seconds left, Orcas Island's going to have to put that ball in the basket with a little more regularity than they've been doing for the past few minutes.
David Hall, Mike Ankney will jump it in the Orcas circle. 3:49 remaining, 48-42 Coupeville. Tipped by Hall and controlled by Orcas. Out front, Bart Curtis is also checked back in the game. Hamer fires from outside. Rules, no good. Rebound is loose. Batted once, twice. Michelle grabs it. Drives into the side of the lane. Can't get the shot up to Curtis. Around to Hamer. His long one goes. Hamer hits from outside. Ken Hamer. 48-44. Coupeville's lead is 4. The closest the Vikings have been since the first period. Ferris, right side to Randy Keefe. Moves around. Scharnhorst goes up with a shot and is put. We have a whistle and a foul call on Scharnhorst from behind. And Coupeville wants a timeout with 3:19 remaining in the ball game. The score, Coupeville 48, Orcas Island 44.
Mom is cleaning the top and burners on your electric range one of your favorite things? Well, I think not. Not the people who make the famous Corning 3+1 electric range. It has the new smooth top with nothing in sight. One beautiful flat surface, and you just wipe it off. Underneath is the unique thermostatically controlled cooking system. It's so accurate it's almost impossible to burn scorched things. And you can find it at Anaco, Anacortes, and Oak Harbor.
If you were new in LeConner and wanted to go smelt jigging, where should you go for advice? Why, where else but LeConner Drug and talk to the mayor. Now, Fred doesn't exactly claim to know a lot about smelt jigging, but he sells the gear and the buckets, and he knows who to send you to talk to about smelt jigging. Actually, LeConner Drug sells a lot more than that, though. LeConner souvenirs, Easter cards, boxed candy, warm gloves, and right now in time for flu season, it's the Rexall sale on super plenaments. Buy one, get one bottle free. Stop in and see his honor, your friendly druggist at LeConner Drug.
3 minutes, 19 seconds remaining in game number 1 here at the District 3 basketball tournament. Coupeville with a 4-point lead, 48-44. Orcas Island has been cutting points off of that lead. Right now, Coupeville has Randy Keefe up to the line, shooting 2. Keefe at the line. He has 6 points in this half, 17 for the ball game. Hits the first one, make it 18. 49-44. Coupeville by 5. One more for Randy Keefe. Jump set free throw up. It's short. The rebound taken by Bissett in the lane. Lost the ball. The ball saved in. Hits the bottom of the backboard. And so it's going to be Coupeville's ball. Coupeville will have the ball under their own basket, right side of the lane. Trying to play it in, come out front to Gerald. Off to Ankney, muscles in, checked away by Hall. And the loose ball picked up by Curtis, who bring it down floor. Working against Ferris, comes across the center line. The Vikings down by 5 with 3 minutes remaining in the ball game. On the left side, Hall. Hall out front, top of the key, Curtis. Outside Hamer, he fires from outside, good. Ken Hamer hits it from outside. He's come back into the ball game and hit 2 baskets here in the final period. 49-46, Coupeville's lead is just 3 now. Ferris with the ball near center court. Underneath the Anke, 6-footer banks, good. Mike Ankney gets it. 51-46 Coupeville.
Coach, you call putting pressure on the basket. They hit Mike Ankney. He was kind of alone. He got that ball. He drove right for the board. Nice bank shot.
Ferris intercepts out front. Ferris driving on Hamer. Stops, shoots an 8-footer. Good. Foster Ferris, 16 points in the ball game. 2 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in the ball game.
Well, Coupeville again, they like to shoot on the run. And when Ferris gets the ball, he knows what to do with it. Orcas Island back on the attack, trying to get that ball in the basket.
Lob out front to Curtis. His 20-footer bad shot, flat shot. Just really hit the bottom of the rim, about 2 feet low. Down floor comes Gerald. Gerald drives to the baseline all the way. Throws up an underhand layup at the bottom of the backboard. Bissett puts it up. No good. Rebound. Scharnhorst and a foul on a rebound. It's going to go against Gerald of Coupeville. Bill Gerald draws the foul. That'll be the 4th foul on the Coupeville Wolves. Comes with 1 minute, 59 seconds remaining in the ball game. 53-46 Coupeville leads. That is the first foul on Gerald. And Hamer will put in backcourt, but first the Vikings want to call timeout with the score. Coupeville 53, Orcas 46. We'll be back in just a minute. One minute, 59 seconds remaining in the ball game. 53-46, Coupeville leading.
Yes, Dennis, and for the Orcas Island being down this far, the way Coupeville's playing right now, it's going to be real tough. They're going to have to go to a full court press and hope they can cause some quick turnovers and score real fast. Coupeville, again, they love to shoot on the run. They like to get the fast break going, and we've seen this Foster Ferris, who's a reserve, come off the bench today, and what a job he's done. Also this Randy Keefe, he's 5'10". He's the big rebounder. They aren't a big team at all. But right now they're just a little quicker. They're a little more aggressive than Orcas Island. And Orcas, they've had so many turnovers, just too many. And so it's going to take a miracle almost. But again, we've seen it before. With a minute and a half, if your press is working, a lot can happen. But they've got to put the press on Coupeville and hope for some turnovers.
All right, the Vikings bring it down. Curtis out the hall. The big guy's way out there. Bounce pass in the corner to Scharnhorst. Scharnhorst looks underneath. Nobody breaks. Back out front to Curtis. Over to Hamer. A minute 45 remaining. The Vikings taking a lot of time. They got to get some shots up there. Driving is Curtis, and running into the pick was Gerald. He ran into Michelle on the pick, and Gerald draws a foul. Foul number 2, Bill Gerald. Coming with a minute and 41 seconds remaining in the ball game. They say that is the 4th team foul. Orcas will play it in under their own basket. Scharnhorst plays into Curtis in the corner to Michelle. Wants to take the shot, doesn't. Cross court to Scharnhorst. He puts up a 12-footer. Good. Dale Scharnhorst brings the Vikings within 5. A minute and a half remaining in the ball game. Gerald with the ball for Coupeville. The press is not on. Gerald comes down the left side.
They put on a partial press, but they didn't seal off the passing lane to the left man, and they let them come down, and they can't win the ball game by doing that.
Ferris to Ankney. Gets it. Foster Ferris penetrating, and Ankney along the baseline. Drove along the line to lay it in. 55-48, Coupeville. Orcas down to Hall. Out front to Hamer. A minute 8 remaining. 7-point lead for Coupeville. Left side, Scharnhorst gets the screen. 15-footer goes. Dale Scharnhorst hits another one. He has 6 points here in this period.
Scharnhorst putting on a good shooting match right now, but the defense has to do a better job on the press. They're trying to put the press on now, but Ferris goes right through it.
Ferris showing good quickness. Stops underneath the Hackney. Puts it up. Checked away by Scharnhorst. Loose ball in the corner. Hall can't get it, but Scharnhorst does. 43 seconds remaining in the ball game. 5-point lead for Coupeville. Curtis works down. Pumps up a 10-footer. Banks good. Curtis all the way. Threading his way through. Banking it up from in front. 55-52. Coupeville by 3. Half a minute remaining in backcourt. They get a whistle and a violation. And a foul called on Scharnhorst, I believe, of the Orcas Vikings. Scharnhorst picks up the foul. Foul number 4 on Dale Scharnhorst, coming with 31 seconds remaining in the ball game. 55-52. Coupeville by 3. And the Wolves will send Bill Gerald up to the line. Gerald has not been to the line tonight. He has 2 field goals to his credit. He's up there shooting 1-1 right now for Coupeville. Remember, we have a lot of action coming. All 4 games for the District B tournament today will be on KBRC. It's Lopez and Friday Harbor next. Gerald at the line, shooting 1-1. Shot on the way. It is no good. Rebound. Hall can't control the baseline. We're going to get a jump ball between Ankney and Hall.
Well, 29 seconds, 3-point difference. Orcas Island, they've got to get the ball. They've got to score, and then they're going to have to make their press pay off, because if they don't, they can come down and score. Coupeville, if they get the ball over the center line, they'll still run the clock out. So a lot can happen right here. They need to score fast and make their press work.
Scott Franson comes back in a guard slot for Coupeville. Gerald goes out. Coach Bob Barker wants his team to call timeout with 29 seconds remaining the score. Coupeville 55, Orcas 52.
Here's a believe it or not for you. The Ballingers, Marv, Harriet, Bruce, and Donna, have not done fishing since the first of the year. Now, that means only one thing. Island Hardware and Supply on East Sound has just been plain too busy. But when you have all the lines they have, we guess anyone would be busy. Everything for the home builder, from the lumber right down to supplies to build your own pool, with aquarium supplies to stock it with, along with all of your gardening needs. GE, Westinghouse, Gibson, and Zenith Appliances. You can depend on all of them at Island Hardware and Supply, East Sound.
If you're on the islands and are in the market for new shipping, you've got 2 things going for you right now at San Juan Motors in Friday Harbor. First, you can take advantage of the rebate plan put out by shipping. And Uncle Vic Capone told the company they could do it, so it's on till the 28th. The other thing is that right now the whole staff is there, north in Alaska or somewhere else. Go in and get a deal in Friday Harbor, San Juan Motors. The deal ends the 28th.
All right, Hall and Ankney both at 6-1 to jump it in the Coupeville circle. Wolves by 3 with 29 seconds remaining. Tipped around, finally controlled by Bissett for Coupeville. Out to Franson to Ferris. Clock running, 25 seconds remaining.
That's about it. Coupeville will just stall the clock out, probably go for the foul against Orcas Island. Orcas will foul. Coupeville's spreading their offense good, and there's the foul.
Curtis reaching in, fouls. As Ferris went by, so Foster Ferris will go to the free throw line. Ferris with 16 points tonight as a reserve. up there to try to seal it for Coupeville. They lead by 3 with just 17 seconds remaining in the ball game. District 1. Game number 1 of the District B tournament in Burlington. Foster Ferris, who's come in there and played quite a ball game for Coupeville tonight. Ferris, a 5'8" sophomore, averaged only 3.5 points a game on the season, but he has 16 here tonight, up there shooting 1-1 right now. On the way, good. Foster Ferris hits against Coupeville, a 4-point margin with 17 seconds remaining. 56-52 Coupeville. One more for Foster Ferris. Ferris, second free throw up. Goes. Foster Ferris. Cooley hits a moot. 57-52 Coupeville. Orcas will have to get a shot off in a hurry. Curtis down for the Scharnhorst. Scharnhorst with an 18-footer off the backboard. No good. Rebound cleared by Keefe. Ahead to Ferris. Down the left side. Stepped on the end line as he had trouble catching up with the ball. Finally caught up with him but stepped on the end line. So it'll be the Vikings ball with only 7 seconds remaining in the ball game. Coupeville leading by 5. Curtis will play it in backcourt for Orcas. Mark Curtis. Long pass down to Michelle. Goes through his hands in the corner, out of bounds. And so now Coupeville will play it in. No time elapsed on that. 7 seconds remaining. Coupeville by 5 points. They'll play it in against the press in backcourt. Long pass Ankney. He's all alone down there. Ankney drives, goes all the way in, jumps it up. It is good. Ankney gets the basket with 1 second. No seconds. That's the end of the ball game. End of the ball game here at District B basketball tournament in Burlington, and the final score, Coupeville defeating Orcas 59-52. We'll be back with a wrap-up in just a minute.
We'll bet there aren't many banks in the state that have been serving their customers since 1893. Well, if you guess San Juan County Bank, you're either a pioneer or you've peaked. But yes, San Juan County Bank has been serving the banking needs for over 80 years, growing with the community, learning the needs, and they offer full-service banking from checking accounts to home loans, safe deposit boxes to car financing. San Juan County Bank. They do it best, with 3 branches to serve you: San Juan Island, Orcas, and Lopez.
Some people claim that insurance is the answer to all your financial problems. At IDS Investors Diversified Services, they know better. They know you need a balanced financial plan, including cash reserves, fixed and equity investments, and insurance. An IDS specialist can help you develop a program with all the features of a balanced financial plan, along with a full line of insurance products through the IDS insurance subsidiary, IDS Life. In the islands, write Barbara Pickering at Post Office Box 21 on Lopez Island, or give her a call at 468-2485.
The final score in game number 1 of the District B basketball tournament in Burlington finds the Coupeville Wolves downing Orcas by a score of 59-52. That means Orcas will move into the losers bracket in this double elimination tournament. And at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon here in the Burlington gym, Orcas will take on the loser of the Lopez Friday Harbor game. Coupeville will take on the winner of that Lopez Friday Harbor game tomorrow afternoon at 4:30 here in Burlington. The Lopez Friday Harbor game is scheduled to get underway in about 20 minutes. Here with the scoring wrap-up of this first game is Ken Thompson.
Thank you, Dennis. What a ball game we saw as we saw the Orcas Island Vikings come from behind to really make a run at it right at the end. And with 25 seconds left and a jump ball, Orcas Island, if they could have controlled the tip, they still could have been in it, but Coupeville wasn't about to let them. They got the ball and trying to stall the ball out. They drew the foul and won the game going away. But it was a fine ball game, and again, Orcas Island hanging right in there, making it interesting. It wasn't decided actually until within the last 25 seconds. Quickly looking at the wrap-up. First of all, for the Orcas Island Vikings, coached by Bob Curtis, we have Mark Carpenter, who fouled out of the ball game and spent a lot of time on the bench because of his fouls, playing a good ball game while he was in there. He had 12 points, and of course he fouled out, and that made a big difference in the ball game. Dale Scharnhorst, who tried to put his team back in it, as he put on some fine shooting with 8 points and 4 fouls. Sherman Moran with 7 points and 2 fouls. Mark, the coach's son, with 2 points and 1 foul. David Hall finished with 7 points. He didn't foul. Don Michelle, who came in place of Mark Carpenter when Mark fouled out. Don Michelle with 2 points and 2 fouls. Howie Carlson with 8 points and 1 foul. And running out the scoring was Kenny Hamer, who played a good ball game with 6 points and 3 fouls for 52 points for the Orcas Island Vikings. For the Coupeville Wolves, Mike Ankney with 8 points and 2 fouls. Ron Natty with 3 points and 1 foul. Randy Keefe finishing the night with 18 points, and Randy had himself a dandy ball game, doing a great job rebounding and scoring. 18 points for Randy, no fouls. Mark Bissett with 5 points, and he had 2 fouls. Scott Franzen, the captain, with 3 points and 1 foul. Bill Jarrell with 4 points and 2 fouls, and Foster Ferris, what a ball player, only a sophomore, came in there tonight. He put in 18 points to tie Randy Keefe, 18 points with scoring honors. Again, 59 points for the Coupeville Wolves, 52 points for the Orcas Island Vikings, and a fast-moving, very interesting ball game.
Well, that's the story from game number 1 here at the District B basketball tournament. in Burlington with Coupeville downing Orcas by a score of 59-52. Our second contest is just about 15 minutes away, featuring Friday Harbor and Lopez. So we'll be back at Burlington with game number 2 of the District B basketball tournament in just about 10 minutes. Dennis Wills and Ken Thompson for KBRC Sports.